Hello everyone, welcome to the Firearm Firm channel. Brass knuckles have been incredibly popular weapons for centuries. These weapons have been used all over the world, and over time they have been referred to as knuckle dusters, brass knucks, or metallic knuckles. But no matter how we refer to them, their purpose remains the same. The combined metal rings are designed to fit around the knuckles to deliver a more devastating punch. Therefore, it's no surprise that we are often asked, are brass knuckles legal in Florida? But before we get into our discussion today, be sure to show your support for the Second Amendment by clicking the like button, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe icon located in the right hand corner of this video. Some states have completely prohibited the possession, use, or sale of brass knuckles, while other states have simply restricted the age of the purchaser, the use, or the manner of carrying brass knuckles. Florida's state law does not prohibit the possession of brass knuckles, but Florida's Statute 790.09 does make it a second-degree misdemeanor punishable up to 60 days in the county jail to manufacture or sell brass knuckles. Since the possession of brass knuckles is not illegal under Florida state law, can an individual carry brass knuckles concealed if he or she has a Florida-issued concealed weapon or firearms license, a CWFL? No. Florida Statute 790.06 subsection 1 specifically lists the kinds of weapons that may legally be carried under a CWFL, including a handgun, electronic weapon or device, tear gas gun, knife, or billy. So sorry, but the statutory language does not include brass knuckles. Therefore, brass knuckles may not be carried concealed from the ordinary sight of another person. It is extremely important to know that although Florida has a preemption law when it comes to firearms, local governments are free to regulate all other types of weapons, including brass knuckles. Therefore, anyone wanting to openly carry brass knuckles must be aware of the local laws where they'll be traveling. A common misconception is that brass knuckles are made of metal, but this is not always the case. Keep in mind, in Florida, the statutes refer to brass knuckles as any instrument or weapon of the kind usually known as metallic knuckles. This is a very broad definition which may include knuckles made of acrylic, rubber, metal, or even carbon fiber. Further, the style and use of brass knuckles has evolved throughout the years to include self-defense tools designed as jewelry, keychains, or even bottle openers. Nonetheless, Florida courts have determined that brass knuckles are considered a deadly weapon. Therefore, you can only use brass knuckles when you are justified in using or threatening to use deadly force. Florida Statute 776.012 subsection 2 allows a person to use deadly force if they reasonably believe it is necessary to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm to themselves or another, or when they reasonably believe deadly force is necessary to prevent the imminent commission of a forcible felony. Forcible felonies include, but are not limited to, murder, robbery, aggravated assault, or any other felony which involves the use or threat of physical force or violence against any individual. For a complete list of forcible felonies, look down in the description section to this video. A person who is justified in their use or threatened use of deadly force does not have a duty to retreat if he or she is not involved in criminal activity and is in a place where he or she has the right to be at the time the defensive force was used. This is where it can get a little sticky for those of you who are in possession of brass knuckles. For example, if you possess brass knuckles in a county that prohibits their possession in public, you are going to have a duty to retreat prior to defending yourself or another. Why? Because you would be involved in criminal activity. So, if you are planning on possessing brass knuckles for protection, you better know the local laws for every place you plan on being in. Until next time, stay armed and educated.